So would you like to go back into the high life? Isn't that what we're always seeking? What's that all about? We're going to explore a little bit about that today as we continue with our journey about the 12 laws of karma. Today, I believe, is law number 9. And so let me start with the basic premise of it because we have some newer folks here today. The first law that we focus on is the law of cause and effect. It is the main law. It is, as you plant a seed, the seed that you plant must grow. If you plant an apple seed, you're not going to get a pear. You're going to get an apple. So the whole law of karma is, what is the thoughts, the words, the actions, and the feelings that become your seed? And you see, it's not just some of your thoughts, some of your words, some of your actions, some of your feelings, but it's the sum total of all that. And it combines together and forms a seed that gets planted and that demonstrates as your life. So in order to change your life, the law of karma says you've got to change the seed. And so we've been talking about various tools about how to do that throughout the last 9 weeks. And today we're going to focus on law number 9, the law of here and now. And this is getting a lot of talk. Eckhart Tolle talks about the power of now. And you hear about this in meditation all the time about really being focused on this moment. But we need to get beyond the surface or the superficial level of that and get into a deeper understanding, because until we embrace it at a deeper level, how can we use it? And so when we look at it, we come to the idea that one cannot be in the here and now if you're looking backward or you're looking to the future. You see, you are not present here in this moment if you're thinking about an old flame who hurt you back then, or you're thinking about a parent who did this, or a corporation who did that, or an event where you were truly a victim in your own mind. If you're got that thought in there, you're back there. You're not here. You're not here. And you see, here, right in this moment, right now, right in this moment, you're perfect. Think about right where you are. You have no worries about your health right in this moment. In this moment, there's no health problems. In this moment, there's no abundance issues. In this moment, there is no depression. If you just stop thinking about the past, stop procrastinating about the future, and you be in this moment, it's perfect, and you've got peace. You see, that's the divine. The divine sees everything from the observer perspective, where it sees that everything is perfect. There is no past in the divine. There is no future in the divine. There is only the now, and the now is all that can create. The past, if you keep focusing on the past, what are you going to do? You're going to bring the creation of the past into the present, and it will demonstrate then again into the future. So if you keep going back to the past, you're just screwed. I mean, there's no other way to say that. I have people come up, Rev Lee, I can't get this man out of my life. I can't get this woman out of my life. They're doing this. I was such a victim. And I says, continue talking that way. Because you're going to talk that way, and all that's going to happen is you're going to have that same experience again. Talk about that all the time when I'm dealing with people with relationships. I tell them, if you just came out of a relationship, don't get back into one for a year. And the reason I say that is because you've got to get out of the past. You've got to bring yourself out of the past into this moment and create the new you. See, until you can create the new you in this moment, the new you can't be present to experience the new relationship. So without the new you, you're going back to the old you, and the old you will attract the old person. Again, you're screwed. Maybe that's the title of this talk. You're screwed. I don't know. Let's come back and say, so if we live in the past or the future, we're not able to take action in the moment. And the only time we can take action is in this moment. You see, if I'm living in the past, I'm taking action from a past consciousness. If I'm taking action from a past consciousness, I'm going to continue to get that. But if I can be in this moment, this is the only moment. If I clear my mind to the past and the future, I clear my moment, now I can take actions where I want to be, not where I want to be, but who I want to become. Because it's about who we become that takes us where we want to be. Did you get that? Because a lot of times people say, well, I'm just going to move to Colorado. And I'm going to be by the mountains. And oh, those mountains are just beautiful. The thing about it is, if you go to Colorado to the mountains, if you go to the beach in Hawaii, if you go to Australia, Bali, wherever you go, there's one thing that happens when you go. You take you. Remember that. You can't run from yourself. No matter where you go, your butt follows, just like that. It just follows you. No matter where you go, it just follows you. And so if you can embrace the idea that you have an emotional butt, an image butt behind you, and it's always following you, then maybe you'll do some exercise to lift it. I thought that was a great analogy. It was spirit channeling through me a butt analogy. I love that idea. So you first-timers are hearing that this is a different ministry here. This is about being earthy, but yet bringing spiritual truth into the earthiness so that we can have fun while we do this. Because so many times in the spiritual realm, it's about, I'm connected. Look at me, I'm connected. No! It's about being present, and sometimes laughter is the greatest thing you can do. Being goofy is the greatest thing you can do. If you're spiritual and you're in a relationship and you're just holier than thou, that relationship's going to end faster than you can shake a stick at. Because there's no reason to be in a relationship. You're boring. Who wants to be with someone that's boring? I'll tell you someone who doesn't, my wife. Because God knows I constantly surprise her with stuff. And this mind is tapped into the infinite in every aspect, whether it be spiritual, mental, emotional, perverted. It's all there, and I share it with her frequently. So let's go on. There is, however, a time to look back. The past does have a relevance in our lives, and when we can look back and we identify what was in our minds, that helps us bring in an awareness that we can now change it. It's not to go back and to resolve the past, to fix the past. You can't fix the past. The past is the past. It's done. It's like a snapshot. It's put on the wall. It's there. But if you can look at what is that snapshot, where was my mental atmosphere at that time? Who was I at that time? Oh, this is who I was. I was truly responsible for being that person in that event, even though I was the one abused, but I was responsible because I didn't say no. See, we always have the right to say the word no. No is the greatest two-letter word. It's the greatest word, period, that teaches us how to better self-love. If something is outside your values, you should say no to it no matter what. Whether your parents want you to do it, where a church wants you to do it, where politics wants you to do it. If it's outside your values, you say no. And you don't give a darn about what anyone else is saying. Otherwise, the law of karma is going to come in and it's going to give you what you don't want. So you get to choose how to use the law of karma. Now, here's the thing. The law of karma is always working. It never stops, not for a second. So you may appease someone. The law of karma doesn't care that you just appeased. It knows you appeased, and it just responds. There's no discernment. It just appeases. It just works. It's automatic. There's no thought behind it. It's a law. And with a law, there's no judgment there. A law is something that no matter what happens, it responds. A plus B equals C. That's it. That's the law. That's how the law works. That's what the law of karma does. It doesn't make excuses. Here's one of the lessons I had to learn really deep. Was there is a law that responds to sarcasm. And I used to be the man who loved sarcasm. And I could be really sarcastic, and I could be the life of a party, and I could really do some damage to people, thinking it was humor. But think about it. If I'm being sarcastic and I'm hurting someone, what am I putting into law? More importantly, if I'm hurting someone, it's really a reflection on what I think about myself. See, if I lash out in any way, whether it's through humor or through anything, it's really my unresolved issues. It's me lashing out as me through the disguise of lashing out at someone to maybe make me feel better, but I really don't feel better. I may get a laugh or two, but I still come back as an empty, unfulfilled being. And then I stopped the sarcasm on others, and then I would just do sarcasm using myself as an example. oh shit, that didn't work. Because what I started to demonstrate was what I was being sarcastic about myself with, and that wasn't working either. And then I realized, oh my God, I got to let it go. Now I'm pretty good, maybe 90%, but I still sometimes screw with the law, and I get sarcastic. And guess what? The law goes. Every time I think I can beat the law wins. You remember that song by Bobby Fuller 4? I fought the law and the law won. The law is always going to win. You think you're sneaky, but the law hears every thought, every word, every feeling, everything. But here's the key. Here's the way to reboot the law. This is really good. Reboot the law. I had computer problems this morning. I had to reboot the computer. Then I had to go through all this. And I realized I had to clear out all this cache. So for you to reboot, you've got to clear out all your cache, your past, your unrealistic expectations. And the only way you do that is get into the now. That's where meditation comes in. Because meditation stops the process of thought. It slows us down. It allows us to just be. And yeah, we may not get rid of all thoughts, but the thoughts will slow. And as they slow, we become more relaxed. Our breathing becomes more centered. It becomes more calm, more peaceful. We start to take control back instead of being controlled by our unconscious habits. You see, most of our lives are run by unconscious habits of thought. And those unconscious habits of thought were things that we did not choose. Our parents chose society, the magazines, and all of that. If you follow fashion, I'm a follower of fashion. But people say, you don't dress like the fashion. I said, I don't follow anyone's fashion but my own. So you've got to be able to say, I don't care what society says. Where's my girlie Lane? Lane's over there, and she's got this really beautiful top on. But it's one of these tops that's now the thing. And it's got more holes in it than it does cloth. And they charge 3 times the amount of money for it. And I go, well, that's interesting. I want to see her wear that in January when it's 5 degrees out. But you see, the question is, I'm not knocking Elaine's top in any way, shape, or form. I'm saying when she chose the top, when she put the top on, did she look into the mirror, see her image in the top, and truly say, yes, I like the person in the mirror? If Elaine did that, and I'm sure she did, that's a good choice. But if we blindly go in and we blindly just accept what someone else has said is the fashion, then we're subordinating ourselves, and when we're subordinating ourselves, we're out of self-love. We're no longer in the now. In the now focuses on, boom, this is me, I like it. This is me, I like it. This is my action, I like it. This is my feeling, oh, I don't like it. Oh, I'm feeling this way, what am I doing to cause that feeling? And I have the ability to change in that moment. Difficulties or pain arises when we do not take actions to create healings. In other words, if we've gone to the past, we've identified those areas that have hurt us, that are not that, and we don't take an action to correct it, our emotions come into play and they start to build and we start to feel. That's where depression comes in, anger comes in, anxiety comes in, lack comes in, all those things, and it keeps building until we correct our thought. Do you hear that? Until we correct our thought. If someone that we loved has moved somewhere to start a life that's their purpose, and we're deeply, deeply grieving, we're grieving the loss of that person. Let's say it's a child that's gone away to college or a new life, whatever. We're grieving that. Is that serving that child or that young adult? Is it serving you? But if you can come into the moment and know that in this moment, right where I'm at, I'm okay. I'm really perfect. I've got everything I need. And you know what? So does my child. Right where my child is, she has everything she needs. He has everything he needs. That's real important. I think about that as I deal with my father. My father's in hospice. He's in Maui, and he can't move or anything. And what I have to do is I have to say, I can't go and I can't empathize with him. Because to empathize means I lower my vibration to his. That doesn't serve him. It doesn't help him, does it? It doesn't fix him. It doesn't make him any better in any way, shape, or form. So when I called my dad yesterday, he's lying in bed. He can barely hear. And Dad, how you doing? And sometimes my dad goes, why are you so damn optimistic? Why do you sound so good? I said, because that's the energy I want. My dad starts to get that, but he does it in different ways. He can't move or anything, so I was talking with the head nurse of hospice 3 days ago. And I said, how's your dad doing? How's my dad doing? She says, he's doing magnificent. He is. He's better now than he was 3 years ago when he's in hospice. It's because they took him off all his meds. So he's not having the side effects. But he can't move. He's in bed. He can't move. He has to have everything done for him. And so the nurse is telling me, he says, he was getting a sponge bath. Now picture 91-plus-year-old man getting a sponge bath. And the care workers are young Philippine workers, very pretty young ladies. And he looks at one of them and says, my, but you're pretty. And he says, where's the other one that has the bigger boobs? 91 years old, and they think he's the cutest man in the world. Now, I want you to know if I said that, I would be slapped silly. But you see, he's released in his own way where he is. He's in his now. And if I lowered my vibration and I lowered my expectation and I felt bad, what good would I do? You see, he's having his experience, and we're all having our experience. And that's what's important to realize, is that each of us is having a unique experience, and no one's going to really understand it. So if you're thinking someone's going to really understand where you are, give it up, because no one can go into your mind, understand everything that's happened to you, see what you're feeling in every aspect of your being. No one's going to understand that. You are. And meditation takes us to that place where we can be still with ourselves and we can accept ourselves. Old thoughts, patterns, behaviors, dreams keep us from having new ones. Yeah, that's a good one, isn't it? When we don't release the old, we have no space for the new. It was fascinating how I was in the Chamber of Commerce in Plano, met every Thursday or Friday morning, and all of a sudden something happened and I released the chamber. The second I released the chamber, I was given a radio show. Is that not cool? But if I had not released the chamber, I wouldn't have been able to do the radio show. And what we have to do is we have to go inside and say, okay, is anything that I'm doing in this moment not serving me any longer? You notice I said not serving me any longer, because things that served us normally serve us for a while. But after a while, that's old. We don't need that anymore. We need something new. So the question we ask is, we're always evaluating, is this serving me? Is this behavior serving me? Is being in this relationship serving me? Is spending time doing this serving me? Is spending time being with a certain person or people, is it serving me? And when we can ask that, we can say honestly, yes or no, and then we're able, if we release something. You ever notice how someone leaves your life and someone new comes in? And you're always supported? You're never not supported, that you're always supported? Hit the home, didn't it? Anyway. Here's one that I got. This is as I studied my dad. A short memory is the key to happiness. If you can forget all the stuff that happens, you're going to be happy. But how many people are in relationships with people and they keep bringing up the stuff? People come to me and say, Lee, remember what happened 2 years ago? If it's negative, I've forgotten it. I just let it go. I've got the amazing ability, ever since I was a little child, for the most part, I've been able to just forget all the negative stuff that happens. Now, every once in a while, something's going on, and I may go into a deep meditation, and something that I should have dealt with that I didn't, that I repressed, will come out. It does come out. You know, you can't just shrug it off. I don't want to make it seem like it's that life. But if you're paying attention, you'll get it. You'll get it. This came to me this morning, and that's why I want to use it. It was my thought that I used today, and it was, when we become the observer, we can see all aspects of life and truly understand what we and others are experiencing. You see, the observer is becoming the divine presence. When we go from the microcosm of being an individual expression of the infinite and we can go into the observer, which is the macrocosm of the infinite, then we no longer see duality, but we see things in balance. We see the darkness and we see the light at the same time. We see the red and the blue at the same time. We see everything. Nothing is there. And so when we see everything, both sides, all sides, we're the observer. We're no longer emotional. We can look at it and we can look at an event. This person left my life. This is what I experienced in pain. That person left my life. Here's what I experienced that was good. This new person entered in. This is what's good. This is what's balancing it. There's always balance. You see, the worst thing that we do is we go into a relationship, whether it's business, whether it's personal, whether it's with our kids, and we think that it's always going to be one-sided. No. There's always balance. In the now, there's always balance. It's only when we bring in the past or we bring in the future that we come out of balance. In the now, it's balanced. Just feel it. Right now, you're in balance. There's nothing you have to do. You're the observer right in this moment. Start to embrace this feeling. Make this a feeling that you seek to have. So let's say you can go to the state fair. And when you're at the state fair, you can be the observer and witness all of the craziness and not be emotionally attached. The law of karma is real clear. It works, whether you're aware of it or not. One of the keys to the law of karma is being present, letting go of the past and not focusing on the future. You see, when you are the you that you want to be in this now, your future is assured. But if you're dragging the past forward, then your future is assured to be a replication of the past. My challenge for you this week is to be the you. Be the you desire to be. No one else can be that you, and you are perfect just like that. Give it some time, give it some thought, but step into it. Embrace yourself, love yourself, and be present in the here and now. So let's pray again.
I want to thank you for joining us today. I'm so grateful that you took your time to watch or listen to this message. If you found this message beneficial, I would ask that you go to our website, agapecsl.com. Once there, click on the donate button and experience the joy of conscious and purposeful giving. Or if you would like, text your gift by simply dialing 972-532-6976. It is through your gifts that we are able to bring this message to you in the world. I would ask that if you like this message, to please subscribe to my YouTube channel under my name, Lee Wolak. Again, I want to thank you for joining me in the Agape community as we learn how to better self-love through conscious living.